I've got my cold hand and my hot hand. I will put one in your butt and the other in your vagina, Kathy Lutz.
I just love it here. All right. Welcome to the last podcast on the left. For Marcus Parks and Henry Zabrowski, I'm Ben Kissel, and today we're talking all things...
I'm Henry Zabrowski.
Ghosts! He is Henry Zabrowski. Marcus Parks is grabbing the Ouija board right now.
Yeah.
We are going to get ooky. We're going to get spooky. Today's theme is all ghosts all the time. And I must say, we're looking at a stat right now. The vast majority of Americans do not believe in ghosts.
They do not believe in ghosts.
Do not believe. They are wrong. Once again.
Absolutely. About everything. It's like the same percentage of people who don't believe in ghosts, the same percentage of people who like Hot Pockets.
I love Hot Pockets.
You don't believe in ghosts.
Everybody knows it. Yeah, apparently only 33% of Americans believe in ghosts, and so this episode is dedicated to the 57% who do not. We are going to convince you ghosts are real and they live in your home.
They are real. They are fucking your wife.
They are having sex with your lady. That's why she's been so happy.
Absolutely, because finally have a ghost who hasn't had sex for thousands of years is just taking such a slow time sucking on the inside of your wife's thighs. Going up in a ghost has 1,000 years to figure out where that clitoris is inside the vagina of the ghost. He takes his cold ghost fingers, can make them hot sometimes.
Hot fingers!
Because you know they say that with the cold hot?
Cold
We're
hot.
supposed to do the vagina? Cold hot?
Cold hot.
Ghosts do that naturally.
I'll tell you one thing. A ghost playing with the clit, it's like that eye poofer when you go to the old eye doctor and they... Oh, that makes the clitoris stimulated and very, very happy. And I'll tell you that clitoris believes in the magic of a ghost.
But let's really get down to the fact that ghosts are real.
Let's get back to that.
And they're having sex with your wife, and it's fine.
It's totally fun. Your wife
it's not cheating.
It's a ghost penis.
It's a ghost piece. It's a real penis.
Theoretically, you can keep your hymen intact. It goes right through it. It's a ghost.
Yeah.
You never know. But in real haunting stories, of course, one of the most famous ghost stories of all time, the Amityville Horror.
Now, the Amityville Horror house was a place in Amityville, New York, which is like out on Long Island.
Beautiful home, by the way.
It's actually a very nice home, but now an iconic house that everyone knows what it looks like. It's been like, what, is it 5 movies are based on it? I know there was the Amityville Horror, one good one, and then Amityville 3D, which is pretty good. It was like Amityville Horror, which was just the main one, which is fantastic. But so this is the story of a house that a couple move into, and basically they see a variety of like a house possession type thing where it's like flies surrounding the windows, like blood dripping from the walls, poltergeist activity, like pretty
things in the mirrors.
Yeah, stuff like pretty heavily haunted stuff.
Get the gun. Get the gun. Shoot, 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 shoot.
Isn't that from Ozzy?
That's Ozzy.
Yeah. Suicide Solution.
So they're hearing voices. Things are going completely wrong. I mean, have they ever? Maybe they just need a fly trap, a fly strip.
Go one of those strips.
One of those.
Just get the new the weather guards you can put under your door.
Absolutely.
That keeps the flies outside of the house.
Outside there,
and when the thing starts bleeding, get a fucking tampon.
Get a tampon.
Plug it up.
I think the priest served as a pretty good fly strip in Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
They seem to just love him.
They really just go inside of him. But so the real story of this house, it is based on a true story about
the
couple.
DeFeos.
The DeFeos was the family that lived in the house, like
Before
they
the
owned the
couple.
house before
Right.
the couple. And the DeFeo family was just your standard sort of Long Island Italian, sort of like
They were living the American
rich,
dream,
like sort of family. And the oldest son of the family, was it Richard DeFeo? Ronald DeFeo.
Which I'll tell you, Ronald. It's always Ronnie's
why
got
are
the
you killing
crack.
the family?
Ronnie.
It's always a Ronnie.
Never name your kid Ronnie.
No.
9 times out of 10, he's going to be in prison by the time he's 20.
Yeah, but for killing you.
I mean, hey, it's a death wish. That's what these parents have.
But so basically Ronnie DeFeo shows up at a what? Do you have something to say? I was going to go into
the murders. Yeah,
let's go into this fucking murder.
November 13th, 1974, around 6:30.
He shows up at a bar around like in this Long Island area and basically gets a bunch of dudes. He's like, "You got to help me. Somebody shot my mom and dad." They go to the house.
I don't know who it was.
Yeah, who could have done it?
I think Kato Kalin did it.
Kilkin was a sperm.
Well, you never know how old he is.
He's a time traveler.
He's a time traveler. Yeah, he went back, and then he went back and killed Hitler, which is why we don't know who he is.
Whom?
What did I just say?
Hitler.
What was I talking about? Did I just say something that didn't happen?
So we got 1974. He bursts into a bar. Hey, somebody shot my mother. Somebody shot my father.
So
and my
they
sister
go-
and her
Yeah.
buddies.
No, they didn't know about that. He didn't say that. They show up at the house. They find the mother and the father dead. They then look throughout the house and they find the other 3 kids, all of his brothers and sisters, shot execution style in this house. And then, they tried him and all this stuff. There was sort of like mysterious circumstances in the murder.
Well, here's the situation. When it comes down to the murders, the family members were all found undisturbed, minus the shotgun to their head, the blast.
Yeah, but no one reported hearing a shotgun noise.
And the neighbors are pretty close there.
Yeah.
And you definitely hear there's no silencer on the gun. There was and all the children and the parents were found face down on their tummies.
Yeah.
You would think that if you hear your father get shot and your mother get shot,
A shotgun blast upstairs is going to wake up everybody in the house.
you would spring into action.
So stuff was
That's
always
better than AM radio to wake you up.
Oh, yeah.
A shotgun to wake you up. You're up immediately.
A gunshot will really just get me moving.
It's God's alarm.
I listen. I have like just a standard beep 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 alarm.
Just imagine,
but would I,
boom,
yeah, boom, I'm the devil.
All right, well,
like that would be pretty.
I hate Mondays.
Oh, Garfield. Oh, Garfield loves lasagna.
He loves.
Kills his family. Garfield's killing John. He's killing Odie. Because he's living in the Amityville horror house. The thing is that so mysterious circumstances happening in the murder themselves. They arrest him. They clean out the house. They then sell this house to a couple that does not know that this happened. This was before they had sort of like regulations in like, well, now you have like PropertyShark.com where you can look up something and kind of see what's happened in an address before you show up. That's actually a good idea. If you're buying a house or if you're renting an apartment, I would say to look on PropertyShark.com, run your address, and make sure there wasn't a mass murder that happened in your house.
PropertyShark.com.
Send us some money, Property Shark.
All right.
But they bought this house.
Right.
Yeah, they bought this house, and then it was just profoundly haunted.
Well, there's some evidence out there that maybe they just planned this entire thing as well. Because they were there for a month and just immediately got a book deal.
Really, but that's the thing. It's like those are creative people.
Yes, they are.
They're technically making use of the American dream and making money for themselves in a sort of entrepreneurship type way of just lying.
Yeah. Just straight up lying. So theoretically, the house is haunted by the 6 people that were killed, which is Ronald DeFeo. He named his son after himself.
That's really nice.
That's always rude.
I'm a junior.
You're a junior?
Yeah, I'm Henry Thomas Zabrowski Jr. My father's name Henry Thomas Zabrowski.
I went to spread on the name, but that's just me. And then, of course, there's Louis DeFeo. Louise. That's his wife. 43 and 42 his parents were. He was 23. They were a little scampy, weren't they?
What's this back in the day? The old country.
I suppose so. He was a car dealer.
They were having sex in order to keep warm on the boat from Italy.
Right. That's a good point. You would think their hair alone would do it, but no.
Takes a friction of hair on hair.
Hey, we need to get a fire up here on the deck. Oh, why don't you have the Italians rub on each other for a little while?
Butt fuck each other.
Yeah, just have them butt fuck or hell, just have them shake hands. Any amount of friction whenever they touch.
Oh my God, I've never seen a wrist so coarse with hair.
It's immediate.
Look at that. He's got ravioli for toes. That Italian is a fire starter.
Looks like it should have smallpox in it. We should sell it to the Indians.
So let's talk about.
So then the 4 children though: Dawn, 18, Allison, 13, Mark, 12, and John Matthew is 9. So this is who's haunting the house theoretically.
Yeah, theoretically. Well, so if you want to look at just like hauntings in general, let's say that they aren't lying, which is what we always say. Ghosts are real, right? We know that ghosts are real. So you imagine that. So what is the general understanding of what ghosts are? Which is like human beings are fueled by an energy that keeps us alive, right?
That's right.
Which is electricity, essentially.
Yes, and energy can neither be created nor destroyed.
So you look at purposeful structures that are built, and they talk about that. What ghosts would kind of be technically, or maybe are not thinking entities, but are recordings of what happened in a house, where your energy is released in this house over a long period of time, especially when you're a family and you're kids, and then when you die in an incredibly traumatic fashion, it like creates this sort of major release of energy that basically you then are recorded into a home, where it's like now the house becomes like a sort of like
tomb.
VCR. Yeah, but it's like a place where it's like you're watching the same show
right.
over and over again, which is the show of Ronald DeFeo killing his family.
Sure, so you just see him go door to door. And room to room.
Killing all the children, and that's what you're going to see.
And then, of course, the walls bleed.
But that's where it gets kind of intense, where it's just like, do you think that really happened?
I mean, I think that they may have seen something like that.
I think they saw some shit. They must have seen something.
There's never, any blood left over on the wall. It's very mysterious, but I assume if you see the blood coming off the wall...
You're going to remember that.
You got to remember it.
You're not going to be...
Also, what keeps these spirits in, a lot of power lines. If your home is surrounded by power lines, according to a program I saw on the History Channel...
That's really interesting.
That'll keep the spirits in.
But that's why...
Doesn't let the energy out.
When they talk about when ghost hunters, quote-unquote ghost hunters, which is, if I'm not going to be a comedian with my life, I'm going to be a goddamn ghost hunter. Because it's either the most insane, awesome job on the face of the planet, or it's the greatest con job to ever exist, and that's just got to be fucking hilarious to pretend there's ghosts everywhere.
Oh, man, they're just having the time of their life, those guys. They're always 13-year-old boys.
Yeah. It's all just, and they're huge dog, and they're always looking for, they're investigating ghosts, but it just always turns out to be old, mean Mr. McLean doing his shenanigans in a ghost costume.
That's right. So these people, what's the name of the couple that moved into the Amityville?
I'm actually not sure.
All right, so continue on. So
very white bread couple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was like a yuppie family. That was the whole thing where it's like it was it was their first house. It was like this thing. They were super young.
Oh, they were so excited.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. So, so...
Do you see it?
Jay Anson, he wrote the novel called The Amityville Horror. He gave the couple, by the way, $300,000. They stayed there for 28 days. Their names are George and Kathy Lutz. They had 3 children. They moved into 112 Ocean Avenue. And the Lutz family left the house, claiming that they were just completely haunted. Paranormal activity was going on all around. They ran out of the house. They left their clothes. They left their, the food in the fridge. They just immediately scampered on out.
That kind of... They must have seen something. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like screenwriters and people who write novels, they're going to want to find a sort of contextualized... I think that in an actual ghost haunting is going to be much more abstract. Like, when you're tripping, and you see things when you're tripping that are abstract, but you attach a specific thing to it.
Yeah.
It's just like you watch something move and you're like, oh, I saw cats dancing, but what you saw was a sort of a weird, just sort of collection of images.
Right.
I imagine that if a ghost is real, and if it's that palpable of a haunting, that it just sort of makes you trip balls. That they're it's like what you're watching is the environment change, and it's like you see a thing that looks like the walls moving, but you compare it to blood pouring from the wall. You know what I mean?
Sure. It's all in the head.
It's all in your head, and and that's how it would work, I imagine. Or I just don't know. I just don't think that a ghost would show up with a personality and be like, I guess I feel like the same way about sort of, God, right? Where it's like, I don't think a ghost would be like, get out, of a house.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like the ghost is probably very lonely. They want you there. Stay here. Stay with me. Do you have to go to work today?
Oh, come on.
Why don't you stay and hang out with me?
Who's gonna fuck mommy? I got my cold hand and my hot hand. I will put one in your butt and the other in your vagina, Kathy Lutz.
I just love it here. I like it here. This is my favorite house.
Well, if we're going to talk about ghosts, we have to talk about the ghost puberty connection.
Oh, yeah. Like poltergeist activity, they say that it's mostly surrounded by a sort of that it's very prevalent among girls as their bodies change. When girls
do you think maybe the blood on the wall is just a girl putting her butt on the wall? Have it just bleed through.
Plug it up.
Plug it up. And it looks like an elephant.
But there's just something to it. It's which is why when ghost hunters come into a house, it's they bring the physical instruments they bring, which is sort of electric activity,
right?
What is it called? EMF.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
And, magnetic fields.
And they check that. It was sort of that's where it would be. It's on a sort of magnetic level. And then when your body is changing, you literally have sections of a woman's body is coming to life. It's parts of a factory are turning on inside. I don't fucking know.
This is disgusting.
I'm just saying. I know it's
what
gross.
Do you mean parts of a woman's body are coming to life? What were they doing before that?
They were just going.
I gonna get out of here. I'm gonna make you bleed so hard.
Make you bleed, girl.
Jesus. All right. So
but then poltergeist activity happens around them.
next thing you know, the dog's hanging out with her, constantly sniffing around the crotch area. Come on, Roscoe. Get away from Wendy. Come on, Roscoe. Just something about her. All right. So what they have, they got a full spectrum camcorder. This is what you can use, a PSB7.
Do you know what this ghost box is?
What's this
the ghost box? Is this? It's I mean it's retarded. But the thing, a ghost box is what they have is it's this thing that sits on a desk and it measures electromagnetic waves and temperature changes, and then what it does is attaches words to it that it speaks as if like creating its own sort of like lexicon that this electromagnetic wave and this temperature means it's trying to say like dog in the house.
Yeah. And it really just comes out
random. yeah. Like it's all
it's
just
definitely
weird.
Dog in the house.
Oh, it's dog in the house.
And then
What does it mean?
turns out, woman used to live here in the 1820s. Wouldn't you believe it? She had a dog in the house.
Holy fucking shit, Johnson!
I believe we've got ourselves a haunting.
All right, let's burn this house to the ground. The only way to
No
get
other
rid of
choice.
these ghosts is to burn this whole fucking house to the ground. Let's kill everybody who's been here. Anyone who's seen a ghost needs to have their memory wiped.
We don't have that sort of equipment. We'll just get a goddamn toothpick, jam it in their ears.
We'll not remember these ghosts.
I remembered everything. It was just terrible. I just don't think I'm going to have taps come back to my house anytime soon.
I'm a ghost hunter.
Oh, I mean, I feel like they were the real demons. $65 for that fantastic little device for the ghost box. So go and pick that up right away.
Right away,
everybody.
put it in your house, fucking fart on it, and watch the temperature gauges go like, you know,
Seems pretty haunted.
parrot cheeks. Say something like that. Get out of the house.
Did you hear it? So women are coming of age and ghosts are coming around them, and this is a very, very popular theory.
Well, just that the changes in their body is creating it's creating sort of havoc in the world around them, where it's just like
Right.
TVs will turn on and off, and like shit will come flying out of the cabinets, and it's not necessarily ghost behavior, but it's more like it's just showing how if ghosts are real.
Right.
And they're just another sort of physical phenomenon like anything else. And so it's like
the thing
ESP
is-
and all that stuff. Well, that stuff is real.
So if you are a ghost, you have a choice to go to the other side, right? Why would you choose to stay here? And why wouldn't there be tons of ghosts?
Because there is no other side. You know what I
There
mean?
has to be another side.
I don't think so.
The other side, the side inside the TV. When you get to live inside the
You
TV.
want to go in the TV, that's
Yeah, I
different,
wanna
because you
be like
just
that-
like TV.
I want to be in the TV like that kid in the Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
I know you do. I don't know if that's the way that. I don't know if that's how it goes.
All right. Well, if I was a ghost, I'd put myself in the TV. I'll
All
tell you
right,
that
that's
much.
fine. That's good.
I'll go on
No,
the Ghost Hunter.
it's just that if-
something just smells terrible. Something it smells like saltines and sardines.
Oh, Ben Kissel.
It's the ghost of Benjamin Kissel.
You just appear before them like jerking off.
Hey, I'm the
coming.
ghost that can never come. I jerk off and I jerk off, but I never come. Now that's hell on earth. So they got the KII meter with the audible buzzer. I'll tell you, this ghost hunting business is the real deal. They are
Certainly
going
not
nuts.
a racket whatsoever.
No, sir.
There's no way the inventors of these machineries would be bilking people.
I just want
What are you
somebody-
talking about?
I want to get a picture of somebody just hitting the ghost box, being like, I got it at ghosthunter.com. Why doesn't this thing work?
You know, I think a highly underrated ghost movie, The Frighteners.
Frighteners is great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's super funny and it's really, really scary.
yeah.
Peter Jackson's great.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah.
for fucking King Kong. Fuck King Kong.
Fuck King Kong, but we're not here to talk about King Kong. Yeah, The Frighteners is a fantastic depiction, and what a nice relationship the old shaky guy himself had with those ghosts.
Yeah.
I love that. That would be fun to be friends with ghosts because, you can always count them to be wherever you are at any given time.
I just don't think that you can talk to I don't know. I don't know if your personality's held intact.
Well,
That's
speaking
why we're
of
talking
talking
about
to ghosts,
Yeah.
this is a well-known medium. We'll get into this. We have the Fox sisters, and of course, the most famous one I think of our lifetime, as of right now, is John Edwards.
John
not
Edwards.
not the scandalous former vice presidential candidate, but the guy who can communicate with the dead.
Yeah, it's actually the same guy.
It's the
I wish
same
it was
guy,
the same
yeah.
guy. That would be quite the life story.
Yeah.
I would like to read that. Well, all right. So I also feel that there is a sort of there is a connection to wanting to. You want people to believe in ghosts because it allows them to kind of give them hope for an afterlife, and like you kind of want to set up this stuff, especially when you're.
I mean, does it though? Because it also sort of doesn't allow them to have closure, and I think it sort of allows them to fantasize that all their dead relatives are still alive, as opposed to realizing that they're dead. And
well, what does America want less than like closure? You know what I mean? I just feel like people don't want closure. People like to live in it. People like to imagine. Yeah, the ghost.
I just don't think it's very healthy. I mean, what do you think, Marcus? Do you think it's healthy for somebody to be like, I know that I go to a psychic every day and talk to my dead wife?
Fuck no.
It can't be good,
It's extremely unhealthy. And that's one of the reasons why I love Harry Houdini so much. Now, his campaign against mediums and psychics and all that type of shit.
But that also comes from he was also he was obsessed with them.
Yeah. Well, he was always looking for his mama.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. And they were never able to find her.
Yeah, every time, because he saw that he kept going to these mediums and seeing that these people were preying on people's emotions and, their need to believe that,
I can talk to my father again.
I can talk to my father again, and if I can talk to him, then someone can talk to me whenever I die. So therefore, there is no real death. There's just like the next level.
And it is a fantastic version of eternal life. And I would love to be a ghost. Hopefully, I can get my weight down. That would be nice.
I don't want. You would still be fucking taking ally.
I'll tell you, man. When I'm a ghost, I'm going to get on a scale and be like, I am 5 ounces. I cannot believe I'm 5 ounces. I'm trying to get down to 3.5 ounces. Everybody knows it.
You sound like one of those little girl beauty pageant winners.
You never know.
Talk about your weight.
Toddlers in tiara. So I just watched that program, not to get too off subject, but I'll tell you, those gals are very attractive. They're the thing is, they don't have boobs or butts, but their whole body is like a big tit. All right. But we were talking about
ghosts.
The safe zone of ghosts. No pedophile. Anyway, so yeah, this is where a controversy with John Edwards.
Do you want to actually start? Let's start with the Fox sisters, only because they were a part of when people became obsessed with seances in the late 1800s.
Sure.
It was it was a very fashionable thing to rich people would throw them. You had a bunch of people famous people would do it, Lewis Carroll and H.P. Lovecraft. They were the famous people who would start the sort of seance culture. And
two of these very, very popular ones, Margaret Fox and Kate Fox.
Yeah, the Fox sisters became international superstars because they could they said that they could
and Leah
ghosts.
Fox, I apologize, there's 3: Leah Fox, Margaret Fox, and Kate Fox,
and their whole lives just turned into complete total mess because basically they would create this sort of a physical phenomenon around ghosts where they said that they can make these popping noises that would appear all around you, all these when people would pay a shit ton of money,
right,
and they became super famous, and then basically in a drunken stupor down the line, one of the sisters who had become this sort of complete sort of flagrant alcoholic once they stopped touring was we could do it with our feet and our hands. We figured out how to make the popping noises and said this whole thing and ruin their whole legacy.
Pretty fantastic. Yeah, that was 1888. Margaret apparently she confessed to the rappings and whatever they did. So they would just. I actually really appreciate that.
Yeah, the showmanship of it?
Yeah, the art of that is really fantastic.
It's Uri Geller and what he used to do and how afterward, and then they found out that he was fake too, where it's I like seeing it.
Well, there was some great tricks that people would use. A lot of women, because, the infant death rate was still pretty high at that point. So women would go to these mediums and want to talk to their babies. And some of the mediums would, they would claim to be able to physically make the babies appear, parts of their head and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Guess what they used for it?
What's that?
Tits.
Really?
Oh, man.
They used tits.
Cut off tits?
No, a woman's tit. Behind a curtain, behind a curtain, go feel it like a.
Ben is fascinated.
Well, this sounds just great. We got to go back to that psychic. That medium was just right on.
Well, that's the same thing used to do with ectoplasm. Ectoplasm used to show up all the time, where it's they would do all this crazy. You ever seen those crazy pictures?
Yeah,
with, all the shit floating out of their noses and stuff.
And what is ectoplasm?
Well, that is just supposed to be a physical incarnation of the spirit world. That they would travel through a medium and come out in these sort of clouds of liquid. It was just fake. It was just fake shit. It would just be shit. It would just be stuff that they would make.
Yeah, it's like a goopier gack.
Yeah.
I did like gack.
And that they did that too, but because that whole time period was so fucking morbid, like they used to have all the death pictures.
Oh,
where it's like
God, people love those.
Those things are so creepy. Where it's like after people would die, they would prop them up with using like metal spikes and shit,
right,
like, into positions and take pictures of them with the family, like it's normal.
And the glass top coffins, those were huge in the late 1800s.
They just love looking
bizarre.
right into death.
I mean, hell, that was before reality television. We look at worse things now. You would rather look at a person in a coffin than the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I'm with you on that one, man.
So, unfortunately...
I really want to take a look at some people in a coffin.
Oh, well, yeah, you can.
I just want to see some.
Well, I mean, hell, we sign you up for the military.
I want to see a dead girl.
Well, Jesus, Henry, I don't know where to get you a dead girl, so it's going to be very, very hard.
I can get you a dead girl.
All right. Well,
not do this
it's all over now. So, 1888, they ruined the reputation. Margaret and Kate ended up just dying in complete poverty, and then, of course, spiritualism continued on. Because she confessed and recanted, so true believers and skeptics both got their sides of the story, and that leads us to our modern day John Edwards, who I cannot think of a current medium right now who's successful, right?
Well, there's him, and there is a what the fuck is his name? It's like Kenny Chesney, who's like a
Kenny Chesney, the country singer,
psychic.
Well, you're gonna ride in a car today. It's gonna be a pickup, and your girlfriend is gonna be fat.
I don't remember his name. There's another guy. It doesn't matter. John Edward is just another type thing. He used to run the show Crossing Over, which
was a fantastic program. If you got a chance to see it,
he would get
depressing.
It's so ridiculous. But he used to get the audience members used to fill out questionnaires, and he had people pump them for information.
He did the exact same thing that televangelists do.
Yeah, where it's just like they kind of like come with a thing that they want to talk to, and then he'll pick them out randomly because he's got like a fucking earpiece on and talks to a producer, and then
and it's just Wheel of Fortune. Can I get an M? I am sensing an M. And somebody raises their hands.
Yeah, it's exactly how we do it.
My mom died. That starts with an M.
Like,
Your mother, yes, I can tell. And it's also very simple to, like, if the woman's 85, odds are her husband has passed.
Yeah.
So go there, because
it's either going to be a husband or a child.
A child, because it's not going to be her mother. That's for damn sure.
No.
Yeah.
Anyone over, and I would say 50 and under, probably go parents.
Yeah.
Parents have recently passed.
Yeah.
25... maybe an abortion type situation. That's pretty hot.
That would be pretty fucked, but except you can't talk to a fucking unborn baby. Yeah, or just go like.
He says, "Thank you for the memories."
I'm just like, I'm so glad you could translate baby squirm.
He's with the whales now, he says.
Oh, he loved whales. I didn't know that because I never fucking met him, but I'm just really glad that I knew he would love whales.
He died 3 months in. He was more fish than humans, so he's with the whales. He went to whale heaven. That's a little known fact. However, John Edwards got into a little controversy in 2001, shortly after those old September 11th.
September 11th.
11th, yes. Henry. You need to go outside, look at some bumper stickers to remind you.
I look at the fucking skyline every day, Ben. I never forget.
Jesus Christ. You literally just don't even know what you're not forgetting. I think there used to be something up there, but
they closed that Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, that's right.
September 11, 2001.
The Dunkin' Donuts in the sky.
But you know what? The Burger King still stands.
Yeah.
Well, it's the king.
God bless America.
So he got into a bit of a scandal after he was trying to, for the Sci-Fi Channel, reach out to everybody who lost loved ones in 9/11. This was on October 25th, 2001, and due to public outrage and public outcry, they canceled the whole show. Which,
as they should have.
Well, I mean, why?
He's a fucking fake
though?
Psychic.
Yeah, but as a society, we have given him a show, and if the people that died on 9/11 aren't good enough to be channeled through him, who the fuck is? I mean, okay, so I understand that you died on 9/11. You get some sort of, special, like, okay, you're a hero type thing because God knows you went to work on time. This is why I always show up late. Always show up late. Those people who are like, it's 7:30 in the morning, want to be there by 8. After all, those floors aren't going to mop themselves. I mean, it is terrible. The world's hardest working janitor.
It was their fault.
Well, don't go to work so damn early. The terrorists have only won because we're so damn motivated to get that final sweep paycheck. I'm going to go sweep the floors the best I've ever swept by the time I'm going to own this company.
Let's get to ghosts.
Let's get to ghosts. Well, I'm talking about one right now. He obviously passed on. So he started quite a huge controversy with the 9/11 situation. And I say overall, though, I think that was kind of bullshit because they got to let the man do the show. And those people that lost loved ones in 9/11, I think that it probably would have helped them out quite a bit.
Utterly useless activity. I also feel that's, I mean, who knows? It's like, dude, I just don't know if there's any record. Do psychics go back and talk to, like, people who died in a concentration camp? Is that a weird sort of like ghost physics question where it's like, if thousands of people died at a time, would you be able to contact one individual ghost? Or would they all be looped together in some sort of giant cloud of energy?
Well, that's the thing, because I feel like when I was watching this one show as well, and they were going through the Russian old prisons that they used to use in the Soviet Union, and the guy walked into the room and he was just like, man, I just felt like this. It wasn't a ghost show.
Yeah.
It was just a history show. He's like, man, I just feel this presence of death. And the guy who was leading the dude who was leading the guide tour was like, yeah, that's the wall where we would line up prisoners and shoot them in execution style. Just countless, thousands of people. And so he brought that up. When he walked in, he was just like, I gotta chill. You just tell death was there. And there's something to that.
I think that's really true. I think there's a lot to sort of the idea of sort of like collective unconsciousness and the fact that like our brains are sort of connected in a way that is like, you know, like our internet. Well, it's like we're all like, you know, we're like a bunch of network hubs, and our psyches are connected in an electrical way, in a physical way.
You feel it.
You feel it, and that when that shit happens, when you go to a place where like when something really fucking heavy happened there over a mass scale, and it's just like your body knows it's wrong. Like your body knows what happened.
You can tell what's been going on. It's like when you're in college and you walk in to a buddy's dorm room and you just sniff around and you're like, you've been masturbating. You just masturbated. I can tell.
I can tell. It's that sly smile on your face. And it's the way you're just leaned on back on that bunk bed.
And just your overall essence, the essence of life on chess.
Well, especially when you come in and he's like, hey, buddy, how you doing?
Yes. Absolutely.
Hey, buddy. Oh, buddy. I'm so glad you came over, man. I'm glad you came over this time, not 5 minutes ago, because I was jerking off my penis.
That's right. Ghosts coming all over town. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap up this episode.
Oh,
hey,
we got to do a Ouija board sometime.
Oh, we do have to do a Ouija board.
We're not going to do it now. We don't have time.
We don't have time. Yeah. We'll do it next week.
Well, there's so much more to talk about. There's haunted hospitals. We didn't even get to like cropsy or anything like that.
No,
you know, like
this is a two-parter right here.
Yeah,
it's a two-parter. So we'll be back next week, and I'll tell you one thing, Henry. I am looking forward to it.
I like to do podcasts.
I am looking forward to it.
So am I.
All right, then. It's done. Stop listening now. It's all over. Want to do the Ouija?